This is the Harley Rake attachment for the Dingo. There's a couple things you need to know on this one that are really important. It needs to be greased. Over greasing is probably not such a bad thing for this one. It's a high-speed moving machine. I'll go ahead and step through the process of what you're going to need to do to hook it up, and then I'll actually visually show you. On this machine, when you're hooking attachments into this, generally I take a screwdriver with me because a lot of the times when these things are being used, you'll get dirt down here in this crevice, and you'll want to clean it out with like a flathead screwdriver, because otherwise you won't be able to lock it in. Make sure you get all the rocks out. Every once in a while you'll get dirt up here that'll keep this thing from locking in. But you want to make sure this thing's fastened down before you engage it. Also, I'm going to show you how to hook the hydraulic lines up as well on this. Basically what you're going to want to do to hook into this thing is unlock these lockers right here. Basically when they're in, that means they're locked. I do have the bucket off this right now, and taking the bucket off is just as easy as pulling these pins out. So just like that. And when I hook this in, once I get the attachment hooked in, I'm going to hook the hydraulic lines up. To hook the hydraulic lines up, what you'll do after you get it hooked up and locked into place, what I generally do is over here on this little directional dial, if you look in this diagram here, you got a neutral, a forward, and a reverse, and the picture of the reverse has a lock on it. So what I do is I usually put it over here in the lock position and just turn it on to accessory. In this position it will not crank over, so make sure you turn that off if you have a problem starting it up. So but now I'll go ahead and show you how to hook it up. Basically with this control right here, I'm going to use this to raise up on this, hook in there. Now what I'm going to do is go ahead and lock these in so this thing doesn't come off. And now we're going to put the key into the accessory position to take the hydraulic pressure off the line, so it makes it a lot easier to hook up. Put that over there just like that. Turn it on. I usually start from left to right. If you didn't want to go in on one of them, try putting the other one in. It may relieve the pressure off of it. Sometimes you have to twist this. The reason why we're hooking this up to service is just to make sure we don't have any leaks in our hoses. It's better to find out now than later when you're loading up a customer. Now that we've got that hooked up, we'll go ahead and engage it. The same lever that we use to take the pressure off is the same lever that controls this attachment. Put this back down to neutral to start it over. Whenever I'm testing these, I'll make them go forward and reverse a few times to make sure that those coupler heads are good. If they pop off, that may mean there may be something stuck in them that's not holding them all the way. Basically, when you push it back and forth, it puts a high pressure on them and it'll pop them if they're not got a good seat on there. So, and then we can also watch our bearings right here to make sure they're spinning correctly on the sides, which are here, and over here on the other side. These machines get a lot of abuse put on them because they are made for taking up grass. They're for pre-sod removal. So when they come in to put the new sod in, they've got a nice clean patch of dirt to put the sod back down onto. The grease fittings you're going to want to look at, you got one here, and then basically you've got 3 of them right here. You got 1, 2, and 3, and a 4th one hidden right here underneath these hoses. You want to make sure you grease all those. Using the grease gun that we use on every other piece of machinery. On this side, your grease fitting for this is going to be kind of tucked over in here. And then you're going to want to check your wheels as well. Make sure you've got your wheel grease fitting here. So make sure you got proper tires. These are actually solid tires, so you don't have to worry about the tire pressure on those. Just make sure the bearings are good. So, and that's basically all there is on the Harley Rake. Just make sure you grease it, and then you want to make sure you get all the grass and out of the bearing slots right here. Make sure there's nothing patched in here, and you want to clean around your studs. It's not too hard of a thing to do. Sometimes you can get the grass in there, and it may make it a little bit harder. But other than that, it's fairly simple.